you was before, right? Because here's my thing. I think Melissa is gorgeous. I think she's a beautiful individual. I love her very much. She's pretty. I've been looking at her now more so than before. You know why? Let me tell you why. And I think it's so crazy because if I had the money, I'm pretty sure I would have done it. I'm like 100% sure I would have gotten surgery if I was rich at 18, right? These are the surgeries that I wanted when I was younger.
The Bamboo Project Podcast starts in 3, 2.
Welcome to the Bamboo Project Podcast. I decided I'm going to help create 1,000 millionaires, including myself. And not by being a guru or selling a course, but by doing the things I already love to do every day and documenting the journey to get there. I figure I'll make all the mistakes so you don't have to. My name is DonivanGray, and this is how I will turn my life into a living. So, I'd like to start off by giving a shout out to all the people rocking with us and supporting the channel. We really appreciate you. We are currently streaming on all major streaming platforms such as Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Podcasts, Anchor. You name it, we on it, and if we're not on it, we about to be on it. For everyone listening to this podcast and not watching it, you can find us on YouTube at The Bamboo Project. We have over 380 videos on our channel. You want to learn real estate? We got that. You want cooking tutorials inspired by Dr.Sebi? We got that. Travel and lifestyle vlogs? Got it. You want makeup hair growth tutorials? Got it. Basketball? Got it. It's everything us. All the parts of the journey that don't make it to YouTube will be on our story, and you can find me on Instagram at DonivanGray, DonivanGray, and my phenomenal, beautiful, amazing girlfriend Anita Byrne, ANETABURN. We made different playlists for all the things we're into, and we put those links below. This may be your first time here, and if it is, welcome to the family. But for everyone else, this is chapter 2, page 80. All right, this podcast has 4 segments. We have the life update, episode playback, Donovan's questions, and then we have the topics of the day. All video and audio timestamps will be in the description box below. Today's date is September 28th. It is currently 12:08 p.m. So before I get to the life update, I like to start off with a screen time check so I know how much time I spent or wasted last week on my phone. It's kind of a reminder to let me know I should cut back, what I should cut back on, how much time I really was wasting on my phone. So, all right. Interesting. That's interesting. Okay. So I was down 31% from last week. My daily average is 5 hours and 39 minutes, which is low, but it should be lower. I think comfortable number for me would be 4 hours a day on my phone. So now I'm gonna go. Let's see. Sunday was 7 hours and 23 minutes. I was on my phone. Monday, I was on my phone for 3 hours and 50 minutes, which was yesterday. And then Tuesday, I was on my phone for 5 hours and 44 minutes, which is today. And it's already 12 o'clock. Now, here's a reason why for that. I was up at from 12 to 2. And then from 4. No, probably from 2 to 5. I think I was up on my phone. So, there's that. But let's see. So for the week, I've spent an hour and 55 minutes on YouTube, an hour 1 minute on Showtime, 43 minutes on my camera, 42 minutes on Instagram. Twitter was 22 minutes, and I had 35 pickups today. Also on YouTube, an hour 55 minutes today. Interesting. How many pickups did I have yesterday? Yesterday I had oh my god, that's crazy. So yesterday I was on my phone for 3 hours and 50 minutes for the whole day, but I had 106 pickups. That's I don't know how that works. And I had 156 pickups on Sunday. What was your average screen time, Melissa, for the week?
For the week?
Yeah.
This week? 4 hours. No, 5 hours and 2 minutes.
That's your average screen time for the whole week?
Today I've been on my phone for 3 hours and 31 minutes. Yesterday I was on my phone for 8 hours. I spent 3 hours on TikTok.
That's a lot. That's a lot.
Yeah.
That's a lot.
Spent an hour on Facebook. Spent an hour on Instagram.
3 hours on TikTok?
Yeah, 3 hours on TikTok.
Okay.
Day before yesterday I spent 3 hours and 21 minutes on my phone.
Okay. Are you surprised about the TikTok number?
No. I don't go on TikTok often. Like, it's not a daily thing. But when I go on TikTok, I go on TikTok. So.
That's interesting. All right, so let's go into life update. I'm not going to say it. Last 2 weeks have been about getting the car for Carvana. Those were the last 2 weeks. We've been trying to get a car for Turo, our first car to use on Turo. If you do not know what Turo is, it is like the Airbnb for cars. You go on there and you can rent out somebody's car, their personal car, or some people like us who will purchase multiple cars, will rent them or put them on the platform, right? We only have one right now. So we're excited about getting our first car. We feel like we finessed our way into getting a car, only to find out that Carvana, who we used to buy the car, which is a rental or used service. What is it? A used car service. So you can buy used cars on there, right? And they crashed the car on the way to us. It was a Honda CRV. We never got the car. We ended up getting a new car, which is a Chevy Equinox. So we finally get that car set up to come and be delivered. And of course, they have to move back the delivery date again, which is not surprising knowing how our life goes. So it is what it is. They moved the date to today. It was the 28th, right? And then we're all excited. Like, okay, we're finally going to get the car. We're ready for the car. We're excited. We're like, okay, we're going to get this car. Melissa had checked with them prior to today. And she was like, hey, the car's in Inwood. I want to make sure that it's there. They said, yeah, the car got here. Everything's going to be good. So we're in the house, wake up. We're excited. I was up pretty much all night just thinking about the car and what we're going to do with Turo and how we're going to put it on the platform, what we're going to do to kind of get our car to be rented more than other cars. Those things are exciting to me. So I wake up and I see my beautiful girlfriend is on the phone. So I'm looking at her and I'm just like, I wonder what she's doing. So come to find out, she had received an email from Carvana saying that they are going to be late again for the car. Now, to me, this is kind of ridiculous because this would be about 3 or 4 times that they've had to push back the date of the car on top of the fact that they crashed the first car, which is insane to me. Now, I'm like, okay. It's in Inwood, which is not far from where we live. So I'm thinking we could just go over there, get the car, and just bring it back. So Melissa calls them, and they're like, well, we're going to have the car redelivered to you on Thursday, if that's fine. Today's not going to work. And when she asked them why, their response, mind you, this is the craziest thing I've ever heard for a reason as to why you're not going to get the car. There was an unforeseeable delay. Is that what they said?
No, unforeseeable delivery date.
Yeah, right. It was that's the reason for us not getting the car today is because this is the reason. Unforeseeable delivery date. That doesn't even make any sense. And she said that with so much confidence as if that's a legitimate reason as to why the car would not get here on the day we scheduled it to get here. So I'm like, okay, this is getting ridiculous. I'm like, okay, how about we just go to the place, which is in Far Rockaway, which is probably like an hour and a half from here. Is it an hour and a half on the train? Like an hour?
The train is like it depends on what you take, but you can get there the quickest in an hour.
Okay. So it'd be about an hour from here, right? Close to Melissa's mom's house. So we figured we'd just go over there and pick up the car. So I'm talking to the lady on the phone. I'm like, hey, can we just go over there and get the car because this does not make any sense? She now starts to tell us that we cannot do that because that location is not for car pickups, only for car deliveries. Now, to me, that seems ridiculous. It seems asinine that if the car is there, let me pick it up. If you have people that work for you and they're in the area, tell them to go meet me there and I'll just get the car. She's saying that we can't do that. So now I'm like, bro, I'm not really trying to wait till the 30th. We've already had it pushed back a bunch of times. We're not trying to have pushback again. So she was like, well, actually under certain exceptions, they do allow people to pick up their car from those locations. So once I heard the word exception, I said, okay, well, what kind of exceptions are you talking about? What has to be the extreme circumstances for me to be able to get the car today from that place? So she decides, okay, she has to call them. And now I started putting some sauce on it. I'm like, listen, ma'am, our first car got crashed after it's already delayed. We had 2 more delays after that. And then today the car's supposed to get here. Now you're telling me it's not going to be here until Thursday. This should count as an exception. I feel like this is the extreme circumstances that would qualify for an exception. So she goes, okay, I'm gonna call them. I'm gonna call leadership, which I think is she kept saying that, which I felt like was kind of odd that she would phrase it like that. Whenever I hear people use weird words in their like business, I think that the company makes them say those words to other people to kind of portray a certain type of atmosphere in that company. Like, oh, these are not our employees, these are our partners. And it's like, yeah, you're employees. Like, it's not that much different. Like, you're the same thing. And I feel like a lot of companies try to do that, but it's like, come on, bro, we know what y'all doing. So she kept saying, oh, I have to talk to leadership over there. So I'm like, what? Call them, whatever. So she calls them, no answer. Calls them again, no answer. She said, okay, they're not answering me, I'm gonna have to leave a voicemail. I'm like, sure, leave a voicemail. I'm like, whatever. I just want to know, this is my business tactic, I have to always remember this. Always find out a date. If somebody says to you they're going to give you something, get a date and time so that you can hold them to that. So when she said that to me, she's like, oh, I'll call you back whenever they call me back. I'm like, by when should I expect that phone call? Should it be today? What time should I call you back at this? Now, like, how would I get in contact with you if I don't hear from anybody about this car soon? So she said she's going to call me. I even think she said she would send us an email possibly if they respond back to her. So I'm like, all right, cool. She's, nice lady. Gets off the phone. So now we're in the house. I'm just sitting there like, here we go again. I'm like, here we go again. Kidding right up to the finish line. And then nonsense starts to happen. But thank God it was on my side, right? Melissa's laying in the bed and you get a call from some guy, right? And did he give you a reason why he's able to deliver the car today?
No.
So he just called. He was just like, I do not know if this is leadership or not. Maybe he was leadership and that's why he was able to just do this. But he called and he was just like, hey man, can I still bring the car to you today? And I'm excited. Melissa's excited. We're like, sure, bring the car. He's like, yeah, it was scheduled for 9:30, but it will be here by, it was scheduled for 9 a.m.? It's supposed to be 9 a.m., right?
It was supposed to be here at 9.
At 9. They ended up bringing it here at 10:30. So I'm like, okay, cool. So we're in the house excited. Like, finally, we're going to have a car. Never had a car. All my Jamaicans out there know that if you are not a man until you have a car, you don't even count as a human being, honestly, until you have a car. So now that there's a car in our name, well, there's a I won't say a family car because technically we're a family, but we now have a family car. The unit of the house has a family, and now we could talk to the family members and say, hey, we have a car now and we have a house. So I think we've now stepped to the next level of adulthood in Jamaican eyes. So now, of course, it's never that easy. So I'm gonna give some context to this. Melissa recently has watched a TikTok on TikTok. Melissa was watching a video on TikTok and it was about ADHD. My mom has said that I have ADHD and that's another story, but I don't really know if it's true because when she gave me a book to let me know what ADHD is and how to know if you have it, it was pretty much things like if you don't like getting up for the remote, if you don't like homework, if you don't want to go to school. And I'm like, I feel like everybody's ADHD then because those are very normal things. So they pretty much was explaining how much stress you need to operate at your optimal level. So average people need, let's say, a 3 on the stress level to be able to perform well. Enough stress where you feel like, okay, I don't want to stay at home, but not too much stress where you feel like, damn, I don't want to move. Like that kind, like somewhere in the middle, right? And then women, let's say women are on the 3, and then men need a 5 for stress to be able to feel like they're operating at their best. And then you have the ADHD people, right? And he drew them like a line off the side of the camera. Like they're way over there, like a 25 probably, right? And pretty much what he was explaining was the people who are over there procrastinate a lot because they need to feel the stress level to be able to move, to be able to get things done. They don't feel a sense of urgency that things need to be done, so they just never do and they procrastinate, right? And that's why for me, I feel like when I ride my bike, I like to, that it was an enjoyable, when I have my electric bike, I had both of them. It was an enjoyable trade because it was high intensity. Things were happening all the time. Cars are coming out on the road, things like that. And there were days when it was very slow and I would do things that were so ridiculous. Like I would leave my bike outside without a lock because I'm like, I need to feel some type of or some type of like sensation. Now, I wasn't doing it on purpose necessarily, but I knew back then, I'm like, I kept doing stupid things whenever I felt like nothing was happening. Like my life was kind of going pretty regular. The day was going kind of slow. I would just feel myself doing stupid things. So you're probably asking me, why am I explaining this to you? Here's why. So last week, I was filling out the insurance for the car, and everything was good. You know, we freaking had to like call different people like 3 or 4 times. Mind you, isn't this crazy? I don't know how car insurance works, but I think it's crazy that the more you call around, the lower price you get. We even called back Liberty Mutual, and it gave us a lower price than the quote we had from them already for the car, which makes no sense to me. Like, it was like $480, then we called them back, it was $380, we called them again, it was $261, and I'm just like, this is ridiculous. So we might have to go back and get that, because I think our insurance is too high. My sister told me that hers is like close to $100, so I'm like, wait, we paying $400 a month for insurance and you paying $100? That's a lot of money we could be keeping in our pocket from Turo. Besides the point. So, and I think, funny, they told Melissa that it was going to be $1,000 a month when she first applied for the insurance, which would be ridiculous. So, but again, besides the point. So, we filled out the insurance, right? Everything's going well. And I got renter's insurance too, because, it's always good to have extra insurance. And I got an email like 2 or 3 days later, right? And the email was like, send a picture of your ID and write your name, your address, something like that, right? So I saw this email and I was just like, all right, I'm gonna get around to it, right? So I'm like, whenever it comes, I'll get around to that. And then it got around to it, which would be today, right? Technically today. So the guy called and they were like, hey, we gonna need your insurance to give you the car, because New York is crazy and is why I'm leaving. All these crazy laws. They will not let you buy a car unless you have insurance for the car. So you have to show insurance to Carvana to get the car. So I'm like, okay, I know I paid for the insurance already, or I thought I signed up for the insurance. I did not pay for it, but I thought I did. I called them today, right? And they were like, hey, for whatever reason, we're running your ID and there's no hit on it. It's not getting nothing. Nothing's returned. We're not getting nothing on it. So I'm like, okay, I don't know what you want me to do. They said, okay, can you give us your number again? Can you give us your address? Can you give us your social? I'm like, sure, do all of those things. Run it again. Nothing came up. So she was like, hey, yeah, did you receive an email to send us more information? I'm like, an email? Mind you, in my head, I know what you're talking about. I'm like, an email? I'm like, I'm like, what do you mean? An email like what? What do you mean? She was like, oh, it said you had to like double send your ID because we weren't getting anything back. Now, mind you, I saw this before because I didn't feel a sense of urgency. I didn't feel like we about to go and run off into the sun. I didn't feel that. I didn't feel anything. So I was like, I'll get around to it later. Wasn't that important to me? So on the bottom of this email, it says that after 6 days, this will expire, right? So I'm like, and I saw this this morning, right? And I'm like, that was the 20th that happened, and 6 days will be the 26th. If you heard earlier in the podcast, today is the 28th, so it would have expired. Because I went to go check to see if we have insurance, and we only have renter's insurance. And I'm like, that's kind of crazy. So I had to call this lady. I'm talking on the phone, and she don't know what's going on. I kind of know what's going on, but I'm not letting her know I know what's going on. So she told me, all right, can you resend your ID? Now, I didn't know if we were going to be able to have the insurance ready for the car, because like I said, New York is an asshole, and they will not let us have the car unless we have insurance first. And I think it's funny because every single person we talked to about insurance and through Carvana said that they're like, listen, New York is crazy with this stuff, all right? New York is one of the craziest states when it comes to getting a car, or used car, or whatever. So you got to have insurance, you got to have this, you got to have that. So I was able to send in the insurance, right? Now this comes down to more finessing. Like I said, the Bamboo Project is all about finessing. We had insurance before, right? But we had canceled because it was too expensive, and we found cheaper insurance. So what we did was, what Melissa did was, she sent them the old insurance that was canceled, and the guy was like, all right, sure, that works. And The lady told me on the phone that I should have insurance within 30 minutes to an hour, or I should call back within 30 minutes to an hour. So right now we don't know if we have insurance or not until I call them to find out. But that just kind of shows how the Bamboo Project gets things done. So we have a car without insurance, possibly in New York. Listen, this is what we do. No EMD. We don't put down payment for a house.
We had insurance. We had insurance twice. We had 2 different types of insurance.
I feel like we had it 3 times, but yeah.
Well, now 3.
Yeah.
But I see that I have to be on, and it's so question. I had asked you, hey girl, if you don't stop it.
Yes.
So they already sent you a policy thing, and then it expired after 6 days. Because I remember I asked you to send me a copy of the thing, and you said you sent it to me. So what did you send to me if we don't have insurance? I
sent you the insurance, but what I sent you was probably renter's insurance. So that's probably what it says. Because I think it says renters on the top, but it's supposed to be both. So I assumed there was both of them on there. But it did say renters.
Can't. It's my anxiety. Why my anxiety be up?
Yeah, but like I said.
Freak out.
But here's the thing. What happened?
But
nothing happened.
I hear you, right? But if we're planning on going on the street.
Yes.
You're planning on going on a little joyride.
Yes.
If we were to do that, and then they ask for insurance, that policy is not active. You know, so like, it's not like we in the clear just because we got the car. So yeah, that does not make me happy.
What does it make you happy?
That we don't have insurance now.
We don't know if we have insurance or not.
Continue process.
We might have insurance. We don't know. See, like I said, it's my thing. It worked out fine. And this is where they talk about this. They have the men's stress level and women's stress level. And then you have the ADHD stress level. Now, like I said, for me, even if we get on the road and a cop pulled us over, I'll be like, sir, the insurance is supposed to be here. Look, they told me they're supposed to send it. I don't know why they didn't send it. And then I'll be like, all right, we figure that out. But
Donovan is not talking. Donovan needs to stay quiet, pretend like he's sleeping.
Listen, that may be also true. All I'm saying is, at the end of the day, every decision and every interaction comes down to you and another person and how you interact with that person. If you could win over that person, you will get very far in life. That's what I want to say. It's a little tidbit. But we have the car. It's kind of dirty on the inside. Outside looks beautiful. I just think that we have to get some detailing done to the car. A lot of things on the inside. There was a can in the back of the car, like somebody was drinking back there. So I don't know how they cleaned it or what, if they did at all, but I don't think they did. I don't think they cleaned it at all. I think they put that paper underneath the wheel, the front seat, just to be like, it's cleaned, but I don't think it was. So we're gonna see. That's gonna be the next escapades and that's adventures in the Bamboo Project world, is what happens with Turo. So y'all can stay tuned for that. Speaking of things that updated recently, we also finally have framing done in the house. The roof was taken off, which was not planned at all. We got pictures. Now, maybe it's because I have a slight OCD, but I definitely, I felt like the pictures were so beautiful, the way that the wood was like almost placed exactly the same amount of distance from the other wood. It just looked so beautiful. It just looked like it was all in a straight line, and it was like, oh my god, it's amazing. So I'll put the pictures up here. It just looked great. But again, the roof was not supposed to be off. So that was kind of alarming when I first saw it, because I was like, mind you, not only is the roofing off, the back of the house is gone. Now that was more understandable because we talked about removing that, but the roof part was not expected. So like I said, I'm gonna put all the pictures up here to see that. Now the next thing is with that, the contractor told us that he would like to get 30% of the entire job, which we don't really have in our pocket. We do have a capital on tap card that we got a couple of weeks ago, maybe like 2 or 3 months ago now, and they gave us $20,000. So we've been using that to capitalize the business. I talked about that like 2 podcasts ago, maybe the last one, of what that is. And then now the plan was to use that money to get us over the hump for going $50,000 over our renovation costs. So now we have to come up with 30%, and I think it's 30% of the 75, or maybe 30% of the 120. I don't know, but either way, that's going to be about $20,000 to maybe $30,000 that we need to give him. And again, this is why I hate, and not that nobody told me, I guess, but I didn't know this going into renovating a house. Because we're newbies, we have to have the money up front. and then give it to him, and then they pay us back. That's the plan. So it's kind of annoying because then they also will not give us the money unless they have seen the work that's done. So they'll have an inspector come to the house, look it over, and go, okay, you did this, this, and this. Mind you, they will only give us money based off the line items or the spreadsheet that we gave them when we first started the work. So let's say that he goes in there and he does a new roof, and the roof is not on the line items. They won't give us money for that. So think about how crazy that is. So we can have him, he could put in electrical, he could put in new plumbing and a new roof, but the line items only say to do HVAC and the bathroom tile. They won't give us money for the other stuff that was done. So that's kind of what we are running into right now.
Yeah, I think another thing that just going forward that we would do would be just to make sure that we get the item by item line order from the contractor, just like no matter what, because we kind of didn't want to push too much on him when we first got the when we first contracted him to do the job.
Yeah, sort of. That wasn't really the reason. We didn't know what to put
What do you mean?
on the line items.
What do you mean?
Like, what do we put there? We don't know what we have to get done for the house. So let's say that
Who?
either one of us. Are you saying that you knew?
Are you talking about us?
Yes.
That's not our job. He was supposed to do that. That's what I'm saying.
Not really.
Yeah.
We're supposed to tell him what we want done. So it's like, yeah,
No, it's him. He was supposed to do it.
Yeah, it's weird because what happened was we had a number that we have for the budget, and they were like, "Okay, can you do it? Can you fix the whole house for $75K?" He was like, "Sure."
Okay.
And then that was pretty much it. We don't know what we needed to get done. We didn't know that we were gonna need.
I don't think that's true because at that point we had the appraiser look at it, so there was an inspection of sorts, and it said what needed to be done on there. And either way, if he's planning on doing work, like how did he buy the materials that he have now?
Because he knows what he needs to do now. Because what happened before was,
So when did he find out what he needed to know? Like when did he find out what he needed to do?
when the house was demolished or demoed. Because he was saying that he didn't know what needed to be done because he's like with the pipes. He's like, I don't know how to either fix these or repair these. I don't know.
And we had to give him the information before that.
What kind of information?
The line item sheets to the loan people.
Yeah, but the one that we gave them was he just threw that together for me. Because he's like I can't really give you a line. I don't know what you need done. If we brought it to him and said, okay, we need the bathroom replaced, we need the electric done.
Was there a deadline for that?
For what?
For when we had to give the lenders that information?
They wouldn't give us the money without that.
Yeah, but I'm like, was there a deadline for that? Like, could we have waited a bit longer before we gave them that information?
And waited until when?
Until it started demoing.
They wouldn't. How we have paid for it?
Oh, you mean how? But we still had to put the money up front either way.
Yeah, but they wouldn't have approved giving us anything to even buy the house without that.
Okay, so you can't start working.
Right. We need to have right.
Okay.
So they needed the whole scope of work before that. So I'm like, okay. And then what happened was I had the general scope of work, right? And I get it to the lender, whatever. But then to get the draw money, that's I need a line by line item for that.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah. That's when I had to just split it up. So like I said, I think one thing I read in the book too was to have the house demoed first. So like, and then have the contractor come in after that.
And then have who come in after?
The contractor.
But like, so then how would you go about doing that?
I think the biggest issue that we have is that they're doing it with these 203K loan draws nonsense. I think that's the biggest issue that we have.
The type of loan that we have.
So, but on a lighter note, Melissa and I are still taking our real estate education classes. I am going to be a real estate agent, and I just found out last week that there is it's a reciprocation, which means that if I get my license, or when I get my license in Philadelphia, I can just transfer to Georgia. And the main reason why I wanted to get my license was for the MLS. Melissa is going to be an appraiser, so she will be finishing her course by the end of the month. And the issue that she has to go through is that to be an appraiser, you can pass the course, but you have to train under somebody else to be an appraiser, as opposed to an agent where it's like, okay, once I pass the course, I can pretty much just become an agent. I don't have to worry about anything else, maybe like an interview with somebody, but Melissa has to be trained under somebody else to be an appraiser. So they don't really want to do that because there's no incentive for them to train you, because one, you might leave, and two, they're liable for you. And people who do not know, an appraiser is pretty much who tells you how much your house is worth or anything is worth, but in this case it's real estate. So they'll go to your house and say, oh, you have 3 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms, and this fancy roof. Your house is worth $200,000. And then boom, now you can go to the bank, get a loan for it. You can have a contractor come in, you can sell it, whatever. So I was able to finally pass the first course of mine. It's 2 hours. It's 2 sections. There's a 30-hour course and there's a 45-hour course. I currently passed the 30-hour course, and I'm about 70% done with the 45-hour course. So hopefully, honestly, I should be able to get my license within 2 weeks. I think within 2 weeks. I have to take the 45-hour course test, and then I believe there's like a third final exam, which is going to be on the first 30 hours and then the 45 hours. Melissa passed her first exam. I think she has to take 4 exams to become a trainee, to then be underneath somebody else till they could then train her. So that's the update with our real estate education. And the biggest thing, or the reason why we want to do this, is to help us buy more property and understand real estate more, and probably even help with wholesaling. But anything investor related, this will definitely help us with, and income. So if we go, or when we go to Atlanta, these things could also back up or be a backup for income if we don't have flourishing businesses by that time. But I can always go and possibly sell a house or assist in selling a house. Melissa could go and appraise a house, so that would help us to have some income to then pay the rent while we live in Atlanta. So we still making moves out here, man. It's gonna we going slowly, but we going surely. That's how we doing it. So the next topic I want to talk about was the lawsuit in Airbnb that we had with the guy, and who pretty much fucked us crazy because we had money spent to get our first 3 units, and then we just didn't get it because he said no. I'm currently editing that video now, and it's traumatizing to hear that phone call from that lawyer that called and said the guy no longer wants to do that. It's crazy. So I've been having a tough time trying to figure out whether or not I even want to go through with the lawsuit, because this goes back to that pride thing I talked about in the last couple episodes, where I really don't care that much anymore. It's a weird thing, but for me, it's like, okay, I'm battling between it being a learning experience of knowing what happens when I go through a lawsuit, and I know that, not a lawsuit, but this particular one, knowing what or how I can prepare myself better in the future by going through this process. But on the other side, I'm like, okay, we already lost the money. That was a learning experience in itself. We're doing other things. It's not money that would necessarily change our life right now. So is it worth trying to go through that process? Now, the issue that I also have with trying to sue this lawyer, right? People that work with lawyers or have sued somebody before, there's no guarantee that I'll get my money right after we win the lawsuit. I don't know when we'll get the money. Let's say that we do win, and they go, okay, now it comes down to pursuing him to get the money. There's no guarantee that he's going to just be like, okay, now that I've lost, I'll pay you back. I'll write you a check right now. Here's your money. I also believe that we will have to put up money to file the lawsuit and pay the lawyer to go and do whatever he has to do, whether it's send out a letter, whether it's call him or whatever. I don't want to have to spend $1,000 to pay for a lawyer and then not get the $2,000 or $4,000 back for several months or a year or something like that. To me, it doesn't seem like it's worth it. And on top of the fact, like I said, is I don't really care. At this point, the only reason I would do it, I feel as though would be more of me trying to exercise my pride, because I'm like, okay, I want to make sure that I don't lose and I get the money back. But again, we're doing other things. So I don't feel that. I don't care. So this probably goes back to my ADHD, where it's like, this is not something that is kind of giving me that sense of urgency to be like, no, we gotta go, we gotta sue this person right now, we gotta make sure that we sue him. So like I said, I would, if we had more time and more money, I probably would look into it, but it's $2,000 to $4,000 possibly, and maybe with some extra damages, maybe like 6, but that's gonna go to lawyer fees, so we probably be back down to 4, which again, it's not bad. It could help, but how do we go about getting that money is the question. And that's where it's, you got to ask yourself, is the risk versus reward, which one is more important in that situation? Now, this will be the last thing, life update, right? So, 2 more things. No, it's the last thing, life update. So, I feel like I have these patterns in my life where things go really well and things go really bad. And I know it sounds generic, but these are things that are just crazy. And I'm talking about, how on earth did this happen? Here's an example. I don't know, signing a lease for 3 Airbnbs, and then the owner calling you the day after your lease is signed and telling you that he no longer wants to do it after you've already bought the furniture and negotiated for 2 months and then drove to Philadelphia, something like that. Or let's say you want to get a car for, I don't know, a ride sharing app, and then the car is being delivered to you and gets into an accident and you don't have the car no more, something like that. Or you have a family that tells you you can use their house for Airbnb, and then they renege and you can't no longer use it. This things like that. Just random things. Or my bike explodes, gets stolen. Just random things, right? No control over these things. So I've always kind of had an idea or an understanding that these things happen, right? And I've always tried to look to see if there's a pattern. Is it something that I'm doing that's causing these things? Is there something that's some type of way I'm acting, or something I'm not being aware of? So recently I asked Melissa, I said, hey, since we've been dating for 3 years now, have you noticed any trends of us having bad or good luck? And she said, no, not really. I haven't really noticed anything. And I also feel like we have good luck. It's not just bad luck. It's things like when we got a check for $10,000 from the biking company I was working at for Caviar. They just sent us a check, or sent me a check for $10,000 for a lawsuit that was from a long time ago. But what are the odds that it just came at that time? I also believe I had got money from a couple other things all in the same time around when we were going to buy the house. So it's something like that. There's no control I have over getting that $10,000 at that exact time. And there's another time, an example, where I was riding my bike in the city. And I remember I was trying to make money to buy something. I don't know if it was pay my bills or to move forward in life. I forgot exactly what it was. But I just know that my bike just kept breaking down. So this one day my bike broke down. And I'm just like, bro, you got to be kidding me. And I was taking an order. I think I was taking like an order. It might have been like 4 or 5 orders out of my back. So it was a good amount of money. And my bike just broke down. I remember being like, bro, I don't know how to fix my bike. I don't know what to do. I had to call my friend who knows how to fix bikes. So I call him, and he lives in Brooklyn. And I'm like, yo, bro, can you fix my bike? Like, well, I asked him, do you know what's wrong with it? Can you give me an advice on how to fix it myself? So the craziest thing happened. He lives in Brooklyn, but he just so happened to be 1 block over from me at a store buying the parts that he could use to fix my bike. Now I put this on my story, on my Instagram a while ago. This is, I don't know, maybe 3 or 4 years ago. And I thought it was crazy because I was just thinking, what are the odds that you would be down the block from me while I'm delivering an order? I'm not stationary. I'm actually riding around the city, or New York City, taking orders, multiple orders at the same time. And you just so happen to be at the store buying products for a bike to fix 1 block away from where I'm at. And he came over and fixed my bike for me. So it's things like that happen around my good luck time. So I say all this to say, there was a time where I was living with my mom. And there was a lady downstairs who was not very fond of my mother. The reason being is she felt like her man liked my mom, and she didn't like that. So we came home one day, and there were these, like, I call them dumplings. So think of a dumpling, like take a piece of tissue, right? You turn it, make it the bottom like into a circle, and you put a rubber band on the top of it, right? There was like 6 of these things sitting in front of the door. And I'm just looking like, what the fuck is that? So I just kind of walked by because I'm like, whatever, I don't know what that is. My mom told me, I think she either opened it or moved it or looked at it. And she said that there was a bunch of feces and some other things inside of there. We believe that she put some voodoo on us, right? Now, I can't say for sure that it was, but I think it's very odd in which the manner that she laid these things out in front of our house. So to add on to that, my mom likes to go to like the fortune tellers and the psychic people. So for my birthday, she took me to one of them. So I'm like, okay, cool, I'm gonna go check out, see what they say. While I'm there, the lady told me that I was cursed. She's like, yeah, you have some type of curse on you, and you need to buy this stone to wave around or whatever. I'm like, mister, you're not about to listen, man. You're not about to upsell me on this silver sea stone that's about to make me turn into a no. I'm not paying for that. So I didn't pay for it. But she was just like, yeah, look, you're gonna have you really have these really high highs and really low lows in your life, and it happened throughout the years because of this curse that somebody put on you. Now, these are one of those times where everything comes together at the same time to make me go, how true is this? And one other thing she told me, which I always thought was kind of odd, I was looking to see if it ever happened, but I do not remember it happening. She told me that one summer I was going to have to make a decision between 2 women, and one of those women was going to be my wife. She told me. So I don't know. You're
not serious.
Absolutely.
What are you talking about?
That she told me.
Who said that to you?
That's the lady. The same lady.
Stop it. What happened? Are you? What? I'm confused.
That's what she said.
You're lying.
I'm not lying. But the thing is, I don't know who it was. I don't know what women she was talking about. I don't know what year. I don't know if it's true or not. It might not even be true. But I know that's what she told me. So I thought it was either between Brenda and Sauter. I thought maybe it was between you and what's her name? Style. I'm like, maybe it was between different people. I was talking to a lot of different people back then. So I didn't know who it was. So I'm like, But I'm like, how also that's very generic because how guys choose between 2 different women. It's not a big, like, it's common. So I kind of, whatever. Let it go. But she did tell me that. So I don't know how y'all feel about, that kind of thing. One of my family members told me that she has somebody that will be able to undo the curse or the voodoo. So I'm like, you know what? I might give it a try. However, I've always heard that you shouldn't even get into that because you never know what the other person might do and they might fuck it up. So their juju might fuck up your own juju. And it's like, but again, I don't really know how much these things really work or not. But I will leave that for a later date. That is the last thing for the life update. Now, we're going to move on to episode playback. So the first thing I want to talk about episode playback was the surgery thing from last week. I talked about Kelly Stamps. She's a popular YouTuber who I've been watching since she was very small. And she recently got breast implants. And I am a very big advocate for not getting your body done. The reason why I say that is because I think that when somebody gets their body done, all it will do is enhance their insecurity. Because I feel like whenever you walk past a mirror, you will always look at yourself and go in the back of your mind and say, that's not me. And I think it's different when, let's say you have pimples on your face. Let's say you are fat or skinny and out of shape. You can say those things, but you can always change them. You can always go and work out and put in the work yourself, and you will have that self-esteem. I believe that once you get surgery done, there's no coming back from that. There's no, okay, I'm going to just remove my butt implant. I'm just going to remove my injections and I could be myself again. I think that's one of the last levels of insecurity is trying to have surgery to fix yourself. Because if we're being honest, I believe that you only get plastic surgery to appease other people. Because if you love the way you look, there is no reason for you to go and do something like that to yourself. So that was my main thing. I also was kind of touching on the fact that I really believe that these type of things are the I learned this new phrase recently. It is the canary in the coal mine to let us know that society is becoming very insecure. And I think it's being fueled by YouTube and social media. This is not a new conversation, but these are instances where I see that, because there are certain people that I watch on YouTube and I go, oh, that person is very insecure. Like, I can see it through the YouTube, the way that they flaunt, the way that they're being extra, because they want people to validate them through whether it be comments, views, likes, whatever the case might be. And I always push because I would rather everybody do the work to build their self-esteem themselves, like to do the things that make you feel better. And I don't mean surgery. So like, let's say, like I said, if you're overweight, work out. You will always feel better about working out because no one can say anything to you about that. So I believe if you get surgery and somebody says to you, damn, you got some nice breasts, right? You're going to always have to go, well, yeah, thank you. They're not mine. They're not real. Same thing with makeup. I feel like it happens with girls when they go, a girl might say, oh my God, your skin looks so nice, but you wear makeup. I'm pretty sure that bothers girls, because the girls feel like, well, ha ha ha, it's not really my skin. And they go, oh, I thought that was your skin. It's like, no, this is makeup. That's going to hurt every time somebody says that, because it's not your face. And you just you're hoping that people walk by you and just look at you and go, she's pretty, and don't address the fact that you're not wearing your own face. And me personally, I think if you don't like your face, you don't like I said, my beautiful girlfriend over here, who I might have to put some pictures up of how you was before, right? Because here's my thing. I think Melissa is gorgeous. I think she's a beautiful individual. I love her very much. She's pretty. I've been looking at her now more so than before. You know why? Let me tell you why. Because before, Melissa was not taking care of her face, not taking care of her body, not really caring about her appearance, right? And I think that stems from low self-esteem. Now, Melissa recently, over the last several months, not even several months, but like a year or so, she's been taking care of her body, her nails, her hair, her skin, right? And now she has less marks on her face. So now she walks outside and somebody goes, oh my God. She goes, look at her and go, damn, that's your skin. Yes, this is my skin. Yes, this is mine. I didn't get it from nobody. I didn't buy it. I didn't draw on my face. This is mine. You cannot take it away from me, because I put the work in to get this thing. I put the work in to make my body look the way it does. And nobody can make you feel insecure about the work you put in to do something, right? So that's why I always feel like people should just put the work in. It's a better return on your investment. I can only imagine, right, that let's say, not just her specifically, but other people. Let's say they get surgery, right? And they have this pseudo confidence where they feel like, well, I don't care what nobody thinks. I still love myself, right? I know I got my butt done and my breast done, but I'm beautiful and I'm gorgeous, and people still love me, right? That's cool and all. That's cool and dandy. But what happens when the guy that you really want to be with looks at you and has to understand, either tell him that your breasts are not real, right? It's gonna hurt when he's looking at you like he gonna have to have that face like, okay, all right, okay.
You might not care. You might like that your breasts are not real.
Right? So here's the thing. I don't believe any confident guy wants that. I don't think a high quality guy wants his girlfriend to have plastic surgery to look better. The kind of guys that want that are usually the guys that are insecure themselves, because they're like, oh, my girl got this fake butt now. My girl got these fake titties now. Look at her. She's so gorgeous. Look at her now. And it's like, that's not her though. So who, like, you want what your girlfriend looks like from somebody else. You don't want this because she don't look like this. This is not her. This is fake. All this is fake. It's the same thing like my mom would always tell me that she feels like guys are gay when they choose to go after women who have their face dolled up all the time, who are like beat to the heavens every day, all day long, red lipstick, nails, every single day. You don't never see them without makeup. She feels like guys don't really want that, and from my experience, they don't. Guys want girls to be natural. We say it all the time. It's like we will have sex with women who look like that and who do makeup and the surgery, but when it comes down to marrying, when it comes down to actual loving them and appreciating them, it's like, nah. It's like whatever. So you making a face? You disagree?
Because it's like, guys say that, but then also, like you said, will go be with the woman that has her butt done, her face done, and all those other things.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like you're still attracted to that, even though you say that you want someone that's natural. So it's like if that's what you want, but that's not what you go after, is that really what you want?
No, but having sex is different, one. And then you got to ask yourself, the girls that have their body done, right? What men are they dating? Who are the men that are dating these women? First comes to mind is Kanye West, right? He's dating Kim Kardashian. Crazy surgery done. You have Tristan Thompson, who's dating Khloe Kardashian, right? Who's dating Kendall Jenner?
Is he on the Suns?
Regular dude.
He's not a regular dude.
I mean, when I say regular, I mean he's not doing nothing crazy with himself. You're not gonna find crazy things about him.
Wasn't he on the Suns? And didn't the Suns do the thing with the girl?
Train the girl, yes.
So,
have you heard Tristan Thompson, what he does with him and all his girlfriends? He cheating on this one with that one. He getting her pregnant, bringing fucking the best friend of this one. That's the girl that's the ones that we want. Who are we looking at? Right? And then I mean, we got Travis Scott. I mean, I guess he would be Travis Scott with Kylie.
Oh yeah, Kylie.
Right? So I think he's a decent person. I don't really know much about him, but that's just my take from watching it. But as far as women go that get surgery that have guys that I would consider high quality, I don't really know them. I don't know off the top of my head. So if anybody wants to let me know, y'all can. But I don't think that the high quality men date those kind of people. Because it's just the reason why I say that is because those kind of women act certain ways, and not what you see on TV when you get in the house and they're like, "Oh my God, why are you home at 9:30? You're supposed to be home at 9:29. I don't understand what's going on. Are you cheating on me?" Those are the ones that are going through your phone. Those are the ones that are being crazy. Those are the ones that they have a deep rooted insecurity that you not have to deal with as that significant other. So that was my thing I want to bring up with that. The main reason why I wanted to bring this episode Playback to is because I wanted plastic surgery. It's just plastic surgery. Like it is, but it's not. Yeah, but it is.
Cosmetic surgery.
Yeah, it's cosmetic. Yeah, so it's the same thing. So I wanted like 4 surgeries, right? 4 or 5 surgeries when I was younger. And I think it's so crazy because if I had the money, I'm pretty sure I would have done it. Like I'm like 100% sure I would have gotten surgery if I was rich at 18, right? Now, these are the surgeries that I wanted when I was younger. So the first one was the penis enlargement, make my dick bigger. That was one of my first ones, right? I wanted it to be like 8.5, 9 inches in length and like 4 inches in girth, or 3 inches in girth, right? I wanted it to be like an Arizona bottle, like a little bit smaller than that, but like Arizona bottle. Like I wanted it to be like that, right? So I was looking at how to do that. I know a guy, my man actually got his done, and he was like, "Yo, bro, I'll be wilding with it." So I thought about doing that, right? Another I wanted to get was I was gonna get my eye color changed, right? Shout out to what's his name, Glenn Brown. Right, he's from the Bronx. I might know him. So the reason why I wanted to get my eye color changed is because when I was running game on girls, right, one thing they have is called peacocking, and peacocking is pretty much how you look before you say anything to a person. So I wanted to be able to walk down the street and have very light eyes, so that as soon as I'm talking to a girl, she sees me, she goes, "Oh my God, your eyes are so right." That's what I wanted, because I know once I have that hook or that anchor, I can just run the play from there. And it's a lot easier to have that, because if you're walking down the street and you don't have any type of peacocking thing, you now have to jump over the extra hurdle, because she doesn't really see you when you walk down the street. There's no real attraction there. So that was the second thing. I was gonna get like a really, really light brown, maybe like a not green, probably really, really light brown. So when you see the sun reflect off my eyes, it just dazzles you. That was my plan. Then I also thought about jaw surgery. So there was a picture I had saw of myself, right, from the side, so my profile picture, and my bottom lip sticks out further than my top lip, and it made me I was looking at it like, damn, that looks so crazy. Why does my bottom lip look like that? I'm like, nah, it's got to be an issue. Like, this can't be normal. So I actually went and researched. They have these jaw surgeries that reset your jaw. You cut the bone a little bit and they slide it back. And I'm like, oh, if I got this, I will never take a picture. I will be killing it, right? For all my profile pictures, I'll be killing them. And the last one was making myself taller. Now I'm 5'11" and 3/4, right? So I can be like 6'1", depending on what sneakers I'm wearing in that area, right? About probably like 6'1", whatever, depending on the sneakers I'm wearing. So some may say I'm tall, but others may say, nah, I'm just average height. Others may say I'm not that tall at all. But I'm like, if I could be 6'3", 6'4", I am at the perfect height to fuck all the bitches. That's my mindset. Was if I'm at 6'3", 6'4", when I walk down the street, now I'm tall, right? I got a big dick, you see my pants, and I got light eyes. And like I said, to me, and I can grow a beard. So I'm already handsome in my eyes. I'm like, I look at myself and I go, damn. I always say this. On a good day, I'm a strong 8. On my average day, I'm like a high, I'm gonna say I'm like a 7, high 6, like 7, right? On my average day. That's what I feel like. So I'm like, if I get those things, that puts me at like higher than 9. Because those are the things that I feel like automatically, just by looking at somebody, attract you to them. I have all the game, I have everything else. It was just, how do I reel them in? So I was thinking about this after I listened to the podcast from last week about Kelly Stamps. And I was just thinking like, damn, I really wanted to get surgery when I was younger. I think she might be like 24 or 25. And I'm so happy I didn't, because I feel like several things. One, I learned to work with what I have. So I also learned over time that everybody that has something has a deficit somewhere else. So somebody might be 6'4" or 6'5", and then you find out that they can't communicate properly, or you find out that they can't fuck properly, or they have some type of emotional or mental disability, something like that. So there's always a deficit. Nobody is all the way around full circle, right? So that's why I look at people get surgery and go, you have to improve the things that you already have, because then you have the person that really wants to be with you. Because now you get a guy that likes breasts and you have fake breasts. It's not you. So you didn't improve the things about you to make him actually like who you are. Because imagine this. Imagine you have a guy that's like crazy about you with no breast. He's like, oh my God, I just love look. You look beautiful. He worships the ground you walk on. He's a great guy. He's like, you just exude so much confidence, and I love it. You wake up every day and be happy to walk around the house with no shirt on, nipples out because you don't have no breasts, just walking around the house. You would be excited to do that. And I think that's a better life to live, because you don't want to have to wake up every day. There was a show, the last thing I'm going to say about this, there was a show I watched a while ago. And the show, I think it was about hair. I forgot the exact name of it. The girl would wake up every day and have her mom come to her house and do her hair in the morning before her man woke up. So whenever he woke up, he would think that she had straight hair as opposed to the curly black hair or coily black hair, right? And it's like, that's an extreme version of it, but the minute or smaller version of it would be, you're always thinking about, damn, does he really like my breasts? Does he like bigger breasts? Does he want bigger breasts than mine? Will he leave me for somebody that has bigger breasts than mine? Because, they could just get implants to get bigger breasts than I have. So listen, I really want people to be confident in themselves. That's one of the reasons why I have the Bamboo Project podcast. That is one reason why we're doing everything we're doing, is I want people to become more confident in themselves and do the things that they want to do for themselves, men and women. So love yourself. I'm telling you, love yourself. I think last week my intro was not as hype as it should be. I feel like I should have more energy. I forgot the reason why. I think it was something about the way I was talking on the camera. It just didn't look good. My facial expressions. I always think in my head that I'm being more like animated in my face, but I'm not. My face, it looks like this all the time. And my eyebrows don't move. And my eyes don't move. My mouth barely moves. So that is something I'm going to be working on. I talked about somebody who had COVID recently. And one thing I was thinking about too, right? This person was told that they have pneumonia, I believe, which is fluid in your lungs. But I really don't think that people have pneumonia when they say that. And that's a big issue, because there's a very big difference in my mind between having pneumonia and having fluid in your lungs. And I think people go to the hospital and they tell them that they have fluid in their lungs, and people associate that with pneumonia, which can kill you. I don't necessarily think that just having fluid, or what they call is fluid, but it's probably mucus in your lungs, was going to kill you. So I think what happens is people go to the hospital, they get checked, and they go, damn, bro, you have pneumonia because you have fluid in your lungs. Last time I checked, they don't do blood work for COVID to test it. They test your nose and your nostrils. So I don't know how they'd even know if you even have pneumonia. I don't know how you check that. I don't think they would know. I think they just say people have fluid in their lungs, and they just assume that they have pneumonia.
He was at the hospital.
Yeah, but do they check that?
They would do more tests than just the COVID test.
Yeah, but I don't know if he told me he had pneumonia though, but he might have. He had fluid in one lung. My dad, they said he had fluid in both of his lungs. I believe they said it was pneumonia, but again, COVID doesn't even cause pneumonia. So it's like, that doesn't even make any sense. COVID can't cause pneumonia. Like, that logically doesn't make any. It's two different viruses. That doesn't cause the other one. It can maybe weaken your immune system because it's fighting that. And let me rephrase that, because you cannot weaken your immune system, really. You can overload your immune system. It's not weak, it's just fighting something else, and then you have a virus that sneaks in the back door.
I don't care. Stop.
So I don't really think that people out here just getting COVID and pneumonia at the same time every day. Like, and I feel like it's very common. They're like, oh my God, you have COVID, boom, you have mucus in your lungs, you have pneumonia, and then they put you in the hospital, and I know the rest from there. So there's that. Then I started talking during the topic. I don't know what that means, but yeah, that's pretty much it for the life update. I did want to address the last thing. I'm trying to make it this short. What time are we at? Okay, cool. The DK4L thing, I said this previously, my predictions. If y'all don't know, it's just a couple I used to watch. I still kind of watch on YouTube. And I think they're gonna get back together. I said this last week, I believe. She posted a new video, which I don't know if I said this on the podcast. I feel like I did. I think that there is some type of, I don't know what to call it. They're working with people inside of YouTube and the industry, or whatever you want to call it. I think that's what's going on. Her most recent video is called Heartbroken, and it's about her grandfather who passed away, I believe. And it's so crazy to me, because in the video, it seems like she was talking about Ken a lot. Not a lot, but more than I would think that somebody that's broken up with them. Her first picture of her grandfather was her with Ken and a grandfather. To me, that seems odd, because you just broke up with him. So of all the pictures that you have in your phone of your grandfather, who is your grandfather, not his, why would you use the one of your ex-boyfriend in it? Unless they're gonna get back together. Like, I personally think they're taking a break. Ken's gonna get his nuts off. I don't know what she's gonna do, whatever. And I think that they'll get back together in a year or so. That's my prediction again. And then I think she also tried not to say that the video was a breakup video, which I think is weird. I don't know why she would not say that. Maybe it's part of the brand name of not saying it, but I think she cut it right when they were talking about it, when she was gonna say, oh yeah, that video of me and Ken, and then it just cut to like the next part of the video. So that was the last thing I want to talk about with that. But I think she got some views on that one too. But she's using that title she used for that video. It's suspicious, because they said Heartbroken, and I'm just kind of like, she's using the algorithm to get more views, which is fine. Whatever. That title made people think it was about Ken, I'm assuming, and I think it's doing it might be at 2 million views right now. Let me double check. It might be at 2 million. Oh, I don't know if I told you this, Melissa, but Ken, she has 600k subscribers. Heartbroken is at 1.3 million, and My New House was at 2.3. And it's crazy to me, because both those videos I think have more views, if not the same amount as views, as their breakup video, which is still odd to me. But Ken's video is coming out soon, so it's gonna be about him playing sports. So I know you would love to see that. So make sure we both watch that together, because I know how much you love to interact. These are my 2 topics for the day. The first one I want to kind of touch on is the fact that I had a conversation with a family member recently about COVID vaccinations, and I was surprised that they are pro mandating it, and I was very shocked because I don't know anybody that would want that to be mandated, and they did. Now, there are people probably listening to this podcast who feel the same way, and I think it's interesting because when I was talking to this person about the vaccinations, I brought up the fact that how would you feel, or what would your choice be on whether or not the government should make you get an abortion, right? And in this case, they told me that the government should be able to do that, but I don't think they were serious. I don't know. We didn't really get to talk that much about it, but that's how I look at it. The people that are for mandating vaccinations, you say that it's because you want the world to be safer. I don't know who told you that it's not safe, and you need to ask them and talk to them about that. But I also think that if you are allowing someone to mandate that you get vaccinated, and this is different than the flu vaccination when you were in school, those were choices. You can go to a different school. Every school does not require you to have that. Different states don't require you to have those vaccinations to go into school, right? There was never a time that I remember in my life, obviously, or anybody else that I know is alive, where they were mandating you to get vaccines to do other stuff, to be able to go to the movie theater, to be able to eat inside of a restaurant, to be able to fly on a plane. There are a lot of vaccines out there. None of them have been mandated to this degree. So this is why I use this as an example, because if somebody said to us that you and your wife you just got pregnant for the first time, right? And the government felt like, okay, we have too many people in the world, we are making you get an abortion. You would think that was crazy. You would go, that's asinine. You can't make me do that? But they do. Now, the reason why I say this is the same thing is because I feel like there's a certain type of autonomy that you should have over your own body. You should be able to make those kind of decisions for yourself. If you want to have a kid, by all means, go ahead. I think that maybe a tax, I could go for a tax on having children, because if you have a child, it's going to cost the whole world more, because you have to feed them and house them and clothe them. It's going to cost more, right? So a tax, I can see that. I can see a vaccination tax. I would pay a vaccination tax. If you told me that I have to pay 20% more whenever I go to a movie theater, whenever I go out to eat, whenever I go out to the restaurant or the gym, I would pay that in a heartbeat if I could do that and not be vaccinated. Because here's the thing. As much as people would love to believe this, the vaccinations do not stop you from getting COVID. They don't stop you from spreading it. So all it's supposed to do, I say this every time I talk about this, the only reason that the vaccine is here is so that you do not go to the hospital. That is the reason. So that you do not overflow the hospitals with your nonsense and your anxiety that you are afraid you're going to die, and you now lost your sense of smell, and now you're in the hospital. That is the only reason. It is not about keeping people safe. That's not what it's about. And I think that people need to understand that. So again, I just think it's crazy that people are okay with having the government mandate what you can and cannot do with your body. I'm trying to think of other examples where they mandate that. What things do you know where they mandate your body, like the government mandates your body to do? What can you think about?
Vaccines.
But I mean, other than that.
About your body?
Where the government tells you how you can use your body. Because I said vaccines too, and I thought they're different because they don't even, the vaccines for like the flu and Ebola or whatnot, they're not used to tell you whether or not you can go inside of a Starbucks or go on a plane. They don't tell you, oh, you're not vaccinated with the flu shot, you can't go on this plane or go work out in the gym.
Oh, I mean, some places abortion.
Right? So here's the thing. I was thinking about that. They mandate what you can't do with your body. That's different than telling you that you have to get an abortion. They tell you you can't not get an abortion. So you have a kid, you have to have it. But they're telling you you have to kill your kid. You have to get an abortion. So I'm like, to me, that's more proactive than like passive. And I feel like the vaccines are proactive. Like, you have to get this shot. So I can't think of anything else. If I do, I'll put it on next week's podcast during episode Playback. And then the last thing I want to talk about was TikTok. So my theory about TikTok is based off of an article I read a while back about what makes social media sites good and how they measure a good site. They measure good social media websites by how viral you can go, how quickly you can go viral, and how fast you can gain a lot of subscribers. That's how they measure social media platforms, or one way they measure them, right? And I was thinking about that. And I was like, if I was being cynical, why would that be a positive thing? And it hit me like a week ago. And I was thinking, the easier it is to go viral, the easier it is to get a lot of subscribers, means it's easier for you to share information. It's easier to get information around with sites like that. So I think that TikTok is going to be used to spread information. I don't really know if they have a lot of political things on there, but I think the fact that they make it so easy for you to have different types of ideologies that can be spread very quickly, I think that's a big issue. And it's one of those situations where I think it's funny because it's fun to use right now because it's being used for fun. Same thing as everything is. It's like, okay, this is a fun thing to use until somebody decides, okay, we're going to use a cell phone to track you everywhere you go. We're going to use your credit card to turn off your ability to buy things. Then it's like, oh wait, this is not as fun as I thought it was. Before, when I had just my regular flip phone, you couldn't track me. Before, when I had my cash, you couldn't tell me I can't spend my money nowhere. But it's one of those situations where I feel like TikTok is going to be the next. It obviously is right now a giant in the media space. I think it's the last frontier before all of these quick bite-sized forms of information are out there. I think TikTok will be the last one. I think it will grow very large. I think it will then have this catastrophic falling out where something like, I don't know, let's think of what would an example be. The same thing with Facebook and how Facebook decided that they were going to tell us what information is good for us to watch, which one is not good for us to listen to. I think TikTok will be something like that. I think TikTok will have a situation where they go, okay, anybody that wants to talk about being pro-abortion, no, not on here. And we only push anti-abortion or pro-life content on here. I think when it comes to people hacking TikTok, I think you'll be able to get your message out way faster because you can go viral so much quicker. Like for somebody that goes viral on YouTube, it might be like maybe 1 million views, possibly, maybe. On TikTok, you could get 10 million views. I feel like pretty easy. Is that accurate? Not easy, but like easier than YouTube.
It's more common.
Right. Okay. So yeah, it's a lot easier to get. I would think it's easier to get several million views on TikTok than it is on YouTube. And what that means is more people are going to be able to see this. So if I keep telling you over and over again that you have to be vaccinated, bro, I was in a car today, the car that we just bought, bruh, they were having a commercial where somebody was getting vaccinated and they were talking to their friend and they were like, man, you're not gonna get vaccinated, bro? Are you serious? Oh my god, you have to get vaccinated. Why would you not get vaccinated? Oh, you're one of those people? And I'm just like, this is crazy. Oh, this is crazy. Mind you, I didn't know I was listening to it at first. I had to turn it off. I'm like, I can't deal with this this propaganda, which is the same thing that social media is. That's it. People think that they're having fun on these apps. The apps are not meant for you to have fun. Never think that. The apps are not meant for you. If they were meant for you, then you would be healthier on them. They're not meant for you. They're meant for the people that make them. We will be back here next Tuesday. All right. Every day, every Tuesday, every week. Video comes out on Friday. All right. You can find all the behind the scenes content on our social medias. Mine is DonivanGray, DonivanGray, and you have my phenomenal, beautiful, amazing girlfriend, Anita Byrne, ANETABURNE. are in. All right, now you know what it is. Hashtag Bamboo Project 2021. We going up all year. You know the vibes. And with that being said, Bamboo Project